Shalom, shalom, YouTubers. So, wanted to take the opportunity. I painted the floor the last time, most of it. When I came back the next day, the paint wasn't dry yet, and that's because the temperature on the can matters. It got too cold and it wouldn't set. So I gave it the whole weekend. It's a long weekend. My back was also not good. So I gave it time to dry, and I just came back. It's set. I still have to check. I still have to paint another section over there. I might do that tonight, depending on how I feel. I find it best that when my back is not good, to give it a minute and let it heal so that I can go ahead and abuse of it again. So I was using my time to really go over my plumbing scheme, because I'm at this point where I have to make decisions whether I'm going to run the PEX through the floor, am I going to run it through the walls, because the last thing I want to do is not plan correctly and start doing things and then have to go backwards and take things apart. So I want to really get your input. I'm going to go over some ideas. I plan to do 2 hot water situations, none of which are going to happen right now. So what does that mean? That means that one of the main things of where I'm going to get my hot water from is a propane tankless system, which is not in my budget right now, and I'm not stressing it because it's just not necessary. But I do need to lay out the pipes for it. I need to lay out how it's going to sit so that when I do get the unit, it's plug and play. The second one is that my heating source, a main heating source that I want, and I'm going to do a rocket stove. So I think his name is Paul Walker. I know he's put out a brand called Walker Stoves, and I'm going to be buying the plans from him. So the second source of hot water is going to be a coil that's going to be a copper coil that I want to put around the heat riser on the rocket stove to use it. Why not? One of the things that I wanted to do with this bus is really build it on an off-grid basis. So propane is great, but when I don't have propane, I'm guaranteed hot water when I have that wooden stove. And in the winter, I don't have to use more propane because I'll knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. So let me go over some of the ideas of where we should put this. So here's the bus right now, and it's quite messy because, like I said, this is my storage, and that's a section of floor I need to finish painting, and I'm probably going to give it a second coat. So okay, so wood stoves, to me, I have 2 access doors. I have this one, emergency door, but this is kind of where I want to put my kitchen, so I might just block off this section right here to not use this door. So one is going to be used and the other one is not. Or this door. Now, back here, let's just go over my water situation. So this is a rear engine bus, and it has its pros and its cons, but you can't see it very well right now. But behind there is a certain structure. But basically the bed has to sit a little high, which is fine because my water tanks are going to live in this space right here. So the water tanks I am going to be getting are the blue barrels. I've decided that it's the cheapest way I can find it that's safe. So I've decided, and I sourced where I'm going to get them from. I can get them for like 30 bucks a piece. And it'll be 2 55 gallon barrels. So I'll have one here, one here. Now, my biggest dilemma is my gray water tank. which technically can fit somewhere around here. It doesn't need to be a 55-gallon barrel, although that's fine by me. 1, 2, 3 55-gallon barrels will take care of my water needs. Now, if I put my gray water tank here indoors, I prevent it from freezing, but then I need a pump to pump my wastewater back into that tank, as opposed to it being gravity fed underneath the bus. So I'm going to do this in phases. If I can't figure out how to get this tank under my bus, because I do not feel confident in building a bracket down there that's going to hold, I don't know how much weight at high speeds and bumps, I think it could be a real big hazard. So whenever I can afford to then redo the system where my wastewater would go underneath the bus, which has its pros and its cons. It's out of the way. I have a little less space, a little less weight here. It'll be gravity fed, but it could also freeze. So here, it's not going to freeze. There's no freezing in this section of the bus for gray water, but I do need a pump then to pump it into the into the barrel. So that's where the water system is going to lie. So here goes my wheel well, rear wheel well, and there's the other one. It's right underneath there. So my bedroom, technically, will start at the end of the wheel well, right here. That's the bedroom. End of the wheel well. Let me go back. Okay. End of the wheel well is the bedroom. That gives me enough space for my bed. Now, here's the distance between that door and the wheel well. I want to put my rocket stove here, right before the bedroom, so that I can bring in wood from this entrance and not have to track it from the entrance to here. So it gives me accessibility from this side, and I can use this door for partially that purpose. So I would build the rocket stove right where that wood is, which is going to be my floor, by the way. So that's where I want to put it. Now, hot water would then come from here to this side where is going to be the bathroom. And I'll explain why the bathroom is there. But this is where the bathroom is going to be. It's going to end at the end of that wheel well. So I can have hot water piped up through the ceiling and through the ceiling. Let's see. That's a good idea. I'm not sure. Through the ceiling, up above, run the pipe to the shower, where this section would be, right there. Kind of like that panel's missing, would be the shower section. Now, how would this coil system work? So, the wood stove is here, coil, and then next to it right here, I can put a tank. The tank doesn't need to be huge. The tank is, I'm thinking, this is my idea, the cheapest I could think of is kind of like one of those big coffee urns. You know, the kind that, you know, you find at like catering. And that thing is insulated. It has a spout. Shouldn't be that expensive. And I can put a bracket and then just, yeah, put it there. And then figure out how to get it from there to there. So one of the plumbing issues that I'm trying to decipher is how do I get two independent hot water systems to function, and how to lay that out. I'm not sure. Now, a lot of you are gonna ask, why are you doing that? Why? Well, like I said, this is an off-grid situation, so I want to be prepared for everything without needing outside resources. So I want to design it in that way. So if I'm already going to go through the trouble of designing and building my own wood stove, which is what I'm going to be doing, the technology behind the rocket stove is its efficiency. It's super efficient. There's not that much smoke coming out. I use less wood, which is important in a Skoolie because I don't have the luxury of storing that much wood in my bus. I might be able to put maybe some storage container underneath where I can, throughout the spring and fall, kind of collect and let it cure and dry out and have it available to me. but the size of the space that I have to be able to hold wood is less. So that's my plan for that. So that's one of the problems I'm trying to solve. We'll go into a little bit later my diagram and some of the materials that I'm getting. I'm going to be going with PEX Shark Bite. So the Shark Bite seemed to give me the less amount where I might be paying more for some of the connections. And I've been shopping and sourcing to figure out how to make that as cheap as possible. And I think the planning is the next step, is to keeping these connections sane and do it smart. So this is something that I'm willing to invest more money into, not go completely El Cheapo on it, because it's really important. Number one is I don't know much about plumbing, so keep it simple, stupid. I have to make this work, and I have to do it correctly, because I don't want busted pipe, I want water damage over my hard work. So it's an area where I think it's really worth doing my homework, taking my time, laying it out, making sure that I'm doing it right. So the Shark Bite kind of gave me the idea that you can do it, that I can do it with that system with least amount of leakage. So that's one of the things. So I'm thinking of using this door, and this area for my wood burning stove. My bathroom is then going to be directly across. I've been playing with this layout forever. I have a really ambitious shower plan. I'll discuss that with you guys. Actually, let me just make that. Well, okay, so really ambitious shower plan, how I want to build my shower. I'm going to be doing a composting toilet. Although my composting toilet is not going to be a Nature's Head or a, what's the other really expensive one? I've heard they're great systems. But in my do-it-yourself manner, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I do think I can come up with a better plan. So let's discuss that real quick. Okay, so now we're on the outside of the bus, and this is the outside of part of the plan is an external composting bin section. So these are my two choices. I have drawer A or drawer B. They both have a little vent. I just purchased a computer fan to help with that. And I'll have a box of sorts. I haven't figured out what I'm going to use yet to come down, and 1B for the solid waste, and then have a liquid tank for my wet waste. Same size here. It's going to be the one or the other, and that should facilitate just easier cleanup, more space, and not having such an awkward toilet. I also got a sensor for my liquid waste so that it'll tell me when it's full. I'll show you guys what I bought later. So that is the plan for the toilet. Shower is going to be right next to it. So I'm out here and it's cold. I also want to review the water catchment system. So I'm going to be doing a rainwater catchment system. Basically, I'm going to run a gutter through the side and on the other side, not the front, and then it's going to come down through here and basically run it through. I'll make a hole somewhere over here. I have not figured that one out yet because that's the engine, so I have to take a good look at the engine compartment. But the idea is that it can either run through across, what do you guys think? Through across, maybe down through here, or the other side, or through the back. I'd love your input on that. How to run, basically there's going to be a gutter on both sides, and then it's going to come together somewhere and go into a main spout into my tank. So that's water catchment. That's an additional thing or two. I just ordered the little box it's probably going to be on the other side of the bus, but to have my pressurized water and gravity water fed that can also go into the tank.